And now we are moving into the final emotional stretch of tonight's show. That is the editorial. Um, right after this short recess. Okay, so before we slowly close tonight's show, I wanted to leave you with one final reflection because tonight's episode ended up connecting many more ideas together than I originally expected. We talked about 1981, about the emotional atmosphere of early MTV culture, about synth pop, about Phil Collins, about old magazines, about cyberpunk fears in 1988, about burnout, about responsibility, about nostalgia. What else? About the strange speed of modern life. And one thing that kept appearing again and again tonight was this idea of emotional atmosphere. The atmosphere of old radio, the atmosphere of old magazines, the atmosphere of old music videos, the the atmosphere of songs that allowed silence, patience, emotion, and even vulnerability. And I think many people today are not only tired physically, they are tired atmospherically, so to speak. Because people are tired of constant noise, constant urgency, constant comparison, constant stimulation, constant pressure to optimize every second of life. And one thing I kept thinking tonight while revisiting those 1981 charts is how much music back then seemed willing to simply exist emotionally. Songs were patient, they created mood, they allowed mystery, they allowed sadness as well, and they allowed even uncertainty. And now everything often feels pushed toward speed, faster content, faster reactions, faster opinions, faster emotions. And sometimes I think human beings psychologically still haven't adapted completely to this rhythm, this fast rhythm. And that's partly why I found the Jack Morgan discussion so interesting tonight, because I think many people recognize that feeling he described, moving through adulthood responsibly, while slowly losing connection with themselves. And I don't think this only affects millennials. I think modern life in general increasingly pushes people toward becoming functional instead of emotionally alive. And that's a very important difference because functioning is not the same as living. And that's one reason I wanted this show to exist in the first place. Not simply as, or, okay, remember old songs. No, but as a place where music, nostalgia, and conversation can help people reconnect a little with themselves again. Not to escape reality, not to pretend the past was perfect, because actually it wasn't. Every decade had struggles. Every generation carried anxiety from boomers, Gen X, millennials. Tonight's magazine from 1988 proved that perfectly. People back then were also worried about technology, consumerism, media overload, disconnection, identity. But maybe one thing older media still preserved better was that emotional texture. Things felt slower, more tactile, more human, less optimized. Uh, and I think many people are hungry for that feeling again. Not because they reject modern life completely, but because psychologically human beings still need conversation, music, reflection about what's going on, keeping active their sense of playfulness. People need community and moments where attention slows down. And maybe that's one reason nostalgia became so powerful culturally. Not because people necessarily want to live in the past forever, but because the past reminds them of emotional states they don't want to lose completely. And tonight's segment, Tools for These Times, touched something really important too. This idea that many people are running on empty, like the song, while simultaneously forgetting themselves emotionally. And that may be one of the quietest form of suffering today. People continuing to function externally, but while internally feeling increasingly disconnected from joy, from curiosity, from their passion, or even simple emotional presence. And maybe that's why a small thing matters more than people realize. A song, a conversation, a hobby, a walk, a memory, a late night radio style live stream in the background while somebody studies or tries to relax, right? Like this wonderful show. And emotional, small emotional shifts also matter because eventually life is not lived only through giant milestones that we can achieve. A lot of life is actually shaped by atmosphere. And one thing I would encourage everyone listening tonight to protect is your mental atmosphere. The music you consume matters, the emotional rhythm of your days matters, the amount of noise entering your mind matters, the conversations around you matter. So protecting your peace doesn't require abandoning the world completely. Sometimes it simply means intentionally creating a small moments in your day where your nervous system can breathe again. And music has always helped human beings do exactly that. So that's why we use music as a tool. So wherever you're listening from tonight or today, whether you're working, resting, driving, studying, or simply using this stream to disconnect from modern chaos for a while, I hope tonight's show gave you one useful thought, one good memory, one calmer feeling, or simply a better atmosphere for part of your day. And if it did, then I think tonight was worth it. All right, everyone, we've reached the end of tonight's show, Back to the Present. And once again, thank you for spending part of your day, of your night here with me. And one thing I'm already really appreciating about this project is seeing people from completely different places, ages, and backgrounds gathering around music, memories, and conversation again. And I think that's something modern life genuinely needs more of. That is healthier human spaces online. So if tonight's show helped you relax, helped you slow your thoughts down a little, remember something good, or simply feel accompanied while going through your day, then make sure to subscribe to the channel before leaving to support this project. Give a like to the video and subscribe to the channel